The lights of Shanghai never sleep, and neither does gossip. Yet on a humid evening that began like any other, the city's neon haze flickered with a revelation so jarring it silenced even the loudest corners of the entertainment industry. Yu Long, the man every fan thought they knew, was hiding a secret family. The headlines hit like an earthquake. For years, Yu Long had been the poster child of perfection, his charm, his calculated poise, his untouchable image sculpted for stardom. Every smile on the red carpet, every interview carefully timed with just enough humility, had cemented him as the golden boy of modern cinema. But in one night, the illusion shattered. It began with whispers. A paparazzi lens caught what seemed like an ordinary photograph. Yu Long in a quiet district, far from flashing cameras, holding the hand of a child no one had ever seen before. The boy's eyes, sharp and wide, mirrored Yu Long's unmistakable gaze. Within hours, the picture spread like wildfire across social media, sparking debates and denial. Impossible, fans wrote. He's too busy to even have a dog, let alone a kid. This must be his nephew, or a fan's child. But truth has a way of refusing to stay buried. Within days, investigative reporters pieced together threads, a secluded villa registered under a woman's name, visits that Yu Long made in secret, and a timeline that stretched back years, long before his stardom peaked. The child wasn't just a chance encounter. The boy was his son. The next piece of the puzzle was the woman. She wasn't a celebrity, nor someone the public would recognize on a red carpet. Her name was Mei Lin, a former ballet dancer whose career had been quietly cut short by injury. Graceful yet fiercely private, she had disappeared from the spotlight years ago. But her story, once entwined with Yu Long's, was finally being dragged into the light. Sources whispered of a love affair that blossomed long before Yu Long became the nation's obsession. Back then, he was still climbing, still fragile in fame's shadow. Mei Lin had been his confidant, the one who believed in him when roles were scarce and critics were merciless. But as fame hardened Yu Long, as cameras demanded more of his time than his heart, their worlds drifted apart, at least in public. In private, however, they shared something far deeper, a son named Tian. The betrayal hit hardest among his most loyal admirers. For years, Yu Long had cultivated an image of being single, unattached, and wholly dedicated to his craft. His management team had fueled it, crafting storylines where the only love in his life was cinema. On fan forums, the reactions spilled in torrents. "I feel like I don't even know him anymore. What else has he been lying about?" one fan cried. Another posted, "This is why celebrities should stop selling us fake personas." Yet some voices softened the blow, whispering, "Honestly, I respect him more. At least he protected them." While half the fandom collapsed into heartbreak, another half defended him. After all, wasn't he just trying to shield his family from the brutal glare of celebrity life? Insiders painted a picture of Yu Long as a man torn in two worlds. On one side, the relentless industry, where every decision was monetized and every relationship questioned. On the other, a small, dimly lit home where his son ran into his arms with unfiltered joy. Every film premiere, every award ceremony, carried its own weight of guilt. While fans screamed his name, somewhere in the back of his mind lingered a child waiting for bedtime stories. That secret double life gnawed at him, but he endured it, for protection, for control, for fear of losing everything if the truth came out. But secrets, no matter how carefully guarded, eventually claw their way to daylight. The entertainment industry thrives on scandal, and Yu Long's was too big to ignore. Contracts trembled. Advertisers paused campaigns. His management team, blindsided by the leak, scrambled to control the narrative. At the heart of it, though, was Tian, the boy suddenly thrust into the world's gaze. A child who had never asked to be famous, never asked to be a headline, was now the subject of heated debates. Should Yu Long have told the truth sooner? Was protecting his son a noble act, or a deceitful manipulation of fans? Mei Lin, calm yet firm, released a rare statement. "We are not ashamed of our family. We chose privacy because we value peace." What you see now is not a scandal. It is simply our life, lived quietly. Her words silenced some, but fanned the flames for others. Would Yulong survive the storm? His future seemed fragile. In an industry where image is currency, a tarnished persona could mean exile. Yet paradoxically, scandals often make stars more human, more relatable. No longer the untouchable idol, Yulong was suddenly a man, flawed, conflicted, and heartbreakingly real. Producers speculated whether his next roles would flop or soar. Some argued that audiences, tired of manufactured perfection, might embrace this rawer version of him. Others claimed fans would never forgive the deception. But perhaps the biggest question wasn't about his career, it was about his son. In the weeks following the revelation, Yulong began appearing more openly with Tian. The world watched as he shed the mask he had worn for so long. No more sneaking into side streets, no more elaborate cover stories. For the first time, the actor seemed to breathe freely. And something remarkable happened. Many fans softened. Pictures of Yulong carrying his son on his shoulders, laughing like any ordinary father, went viral. Comment sections that once fumed with rage now melted into sighs of reluctant admiration. Perhaps he hadn't betrayed them. Perhaps he had only been trying to be both a star and a father in a world that rarely allowed both. Yet mysteries remain. Why hide the family for so long? Was it pressure from his management, or a choice born purely out of fear? Did industry contracts explicitly forbid him from revealing a personal life? And most tantalizing of all, are there more secrets still buried? Rumors swirl of a second child, of hidden marriages, of betrayals yet untold. Whether true or not, one thing is certain. Yulong's once pristine image will never be the same again. Scandals come and go in the entertainment world, but what makes Yulong's different is its intimacy. This wasn't about cheating scandals, drunken mishaps, or money. This was about love, family, and the fragile line between privacy and deception. And maybe that's why the story has gripped the nation so fiercely. Because behind every headline, every screaming fan, every flash of a camera, there exists a beating heart that longs for the same things we all do: love, belonging, and family. Perhaps Yulong's greatest role wasn't on screen at all. It was off it, in the quiet life he fought to protect, until the world ripped the curtain away. As Shanghai's lights glimmered against the horizon 1 week after the scandal, Yulong was spotted walking hand in hand with Tian and Mei Lin. No disguises. No running. Just a man, a woman, and their child, finally stepping out of the shadows. The cameras, as always, followed. But this time, Yulong didn't hide. Instead, he smiled. Not the rehearsed smile of an idol. Not the practiced charm of a movie star. But the unshakable smile of a father, no longer living a lie. And in that moment, fans realized something they hadn't before. Maybe Yulong's story wasn't about deception at all. Maybe it was about courage, the courage to finally be seen for who he truly was. The shockwaves of Yulong's secret family hadn't yet settled when an even deeper layer of mystery began to unravel. Just when fans thought they had pieced the puzzle together, new rumors emerged that suggested the scandal was far from over. It was no longer just about a hidden child or a long-lost love. It was about a career carefully built on silence, an industry complicit in keeping secrets, and a man who stood at the crossroads of redemption and ruin. The revelation had opened Pandora's box. Tabloids and entertainment blogs ran wild with speculation. Some reporters claimed that Yulong's management team had known all along, but deliberately forced him into secrecy to maintain the illusion of an untouchable idol. Others whispered of a deeper conspiracy, that industry powerhouses had profited from Yulong's single and perfect image, ensuring that fans remained glued to every project, every product he endorsed. If those whispers held truth, then this scandal wasn't just about Yulong. It was about the very machinery of stardom itself. Meanwhile, fans who once swore to cancel him found themselves drawn into a new dilemma. The more they saw him with his son, the harder it became to deny his humanity. Clips of Yulong playfully carrying Tian through a park went viral, shared with captions like, "The most real we've ever seen him," and "This is the Yulong that should have always existed." Some fans admitted they had cried watching the videos, realizing that behind the actor's carefully staged perfection was a father who had fought for privacy against unimaginable pressure. But just as public sympathy began to rebuild, another revelation tore through the fragile calm. A former industry insider, speaking anonymously, claimed that Tian wasn't Yulong's only child. The words set the internet ablaze. Could there be another child hidden somewhere, perhaps in another country, or perhaps living quietly under another name? Was this second child born before or after Tian? And more importantly, was Meilin the only woman Yulong had shared such a deep past with? For days, social media spun theories. Some believed it was impossible, calling it nothing more than gossip from jealous rivals. Others insisted that the timelines fit too perfectly, that Yulong's long unexplained trips abroad were signs of another hidden life. Memes exploded across fan forums, half mocking, half panicked. Yulong himself remained silent, fueling even more curiosity. What he did do, however, was step further into the public eye with Tian and Meilin. It was as if he had decided that if the world wanted the truth, then he would give it, on his own terms. At a charity gala weeks later, Yulong appeared on stage holding Tian's hand. The crowd gasped, phones raised, flashes firing. And when asked by a reporter if he regretted hiding his son for so long, he simply replied, "I don't regret protecting my family. I regret not having the courage to tell the world sooner." That moment shifted the conversation again. Suddenly, Yulong was no longer the liar, the deceiver. He was the broken hero trying to reclaim his story. But scandals in the entertainment world never end neatly. Behind the scenes, industry contracts were renegotiated, endorsements debated, and some studios pulled out of projects altogether. Yet at the same time, other companies lined up to work with him, believing that audiences would connect more deeply with a vulnerable, honest version of Yulong. For the first time in his career, he wasn't just playing a role on screen, he was living one in real life, and the world couldn't look away. And here's where the story takes a fascinating twist. Fans who once cried betrayal began demanding a drama adaptation of his life. Imagine that, a series where Yulong, or perhaps another actor, would portray the very saga of secrets, heartbreak, and courage he had lived. Would he ever agree to such a project? No one knew. But one thing was certain. Yulong's life had become more gripping than any script ever written. Now, let's step back for a moment. You're probably wondering what happens next. Will the truth about the alleged second child come to light? Will Meilin step into the spotlight as more than the quiet, mysterious partner in Yulong's life? Or will she retreat, leaving Yulong to face the public alone? And what about Tian? How will growing up in this sudden glare of fame shape the boy's future? These questions hang in the air like the final scene of a cliffhanger episode, the kind that keeps you up at night hitting next episode, when you swore you'd only watch one. And that's exactly what makes this story feel like a K-drama unfolding in real time, full of shocking revelations, emotional twists, broken masks, and fragile truths. You couldn't script it better if you tried. Now here's where you come in. If you've been captivated by Yulong's unraveling saga, if you've gasped at every twist and felt every ounce of suspense, then you already know how powerful real-life drama can be. And if you love K-dramas, the heart-stopping romances, the betrayals, the moments that make you laugh through your tears, then you absolutely cannot miss what we've got for you on K-Drama Spark. On K-Drama Spark, we dive into stories like Yulong's, both real and fictional, that capture the essence of what makes K-dramas irresistible. We explore the stars, the scandals, the behind-the-scenes secrets, and the breathtaking moments that remind us why we can't stop watching. Whether it's a shocking reveal like Yulong's secret family, a sudden love confession from your favorite actor, or a heartbreaking twist in a new drama, we bring you the spark that keeps your heart racing. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just read this story and walk away. Be part of the community that lives and breathes these moments with the same passion as you. Hit that subscribe button on K-Drama Spark, tap the notification bell so you never miss the next twist, and join thousands of drama lovers who can't get enough of the stories that keep us all hooked. Because if Yulong's saga has taught us anything, it's that truth is stranger than fiction, and sometimes, the The greatest dramas aren't on TV, they're unfolding before our very eyes. And trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. So subscribe now, stay tuned, and let's unravel the next chapter together, because with K-Drama Spark, the drama never ends.